things are made from one, and in the end, all things return to one.
In other words, one is all.
Indeed, and all is one as well.
All is ultimately of the one. So if all is not included in the one, then all is nothing.
You have passed.
Peace, peace. Now is the vibrate. Y'all know what it is. Want to share something I learned from my experience. You know, something to be aware of. This is more speaking to those of us who are more of the experimenters. You know, it's a thin line between experimenting and martyr energy. You know what I'm saying? Being a martyr. You got to be careful and aware. But, you know, upon my journey, realizing like it's like two areas that, you know, I wish I would have, and I say I wish like I regret, but, you know, I see where things could have gone better in the experiment if I had more precaution and more awareness. And in one area is dealing with psychedelics. You know what I'm saying? Again, psychedelics don't make people crazy or anything of that nature. It's literally like what happens is because you're not aware of what the experience is going to do to you. You know, you're not fully aware of what the experience is going to do. You're not fully aware of how to deal with the experience. That, in essence, is what creates, you know, the quote unquote craziness. You know what I'm saying? It's like having a psychedelic experience and not knowing how to integrate your energy back into your body, back into your human experience. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I would say like my carelessness with the experimentation of, you know, taking psychedelics in certain situations where it was like, oh, it's just like Superman, like, oh, I'll do it in this moment, I'll do it in that moment, you know, realizing later down the line, I should have dialed that back a little bit. Now, again, everything happens for a reason, you know. It's funny because as I say that paradoxically, you know, it was meant for me to go through it so I could do a video like this in essence, you know what I'm saying, in hindsight. But, you know, just thinking of experiments in general, you know, because you got to see the correlation across the board. You know, it's like if I'm doing an experiment, you know, like say, for instance, like chemistry class type of experiment, you know, with different elements, different chemicals, you know, it's certain chemicals and elements that's volatile towards each other. You know, well, you know, one drop of sweat or one drop of one chemical in something that's, you know, very reactive, you could cause an explosion. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, you know, some explosions, you know, you're not really able to walk away from, you know, in essence. You know, give thanks and gratitude for moments where you was playing with chemicals in the experiment, you know, and not knowing that if one little little movement off and you would have created an explosion, you know what I'm saying? But luckily, you know what I'm saying, you was protected in many ways, you know. And that, again, tying that analogy to dealing with psychedelics, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, being more aware of, you know, what's going on in that connection, you know, and not being so loose about it or careless about it, you know what I'm saying, I would say would be, you know, one of the things that, you know, again, like to be aware of stepping into that. And how I got here, you know what I'm saying, I'm sitting down, I'm thinking about, or what came to me is, you know, like wearing different crystals. And I thought of like, you know, like I am a being who, again, like that experimenter perspective is also that energy, you know, borderline hard-headed /, you know, like I'm not gonna really learn until I experience it, you know, because again, experience, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of both connected in that etymology, but it's like going through things for experience, but also having to have the awareness, to know how to experiment and what you're experimenting with. You know what I'm saying? But again, I thought about wearing different crystals, and wearing multiple crystals at once, you know what I'm saying? Experiment with that, because again, like somebody could say, oh, it's not good to wear a bunch of crystals, and it's not good to do this with a crystal, it's not good to make an elixir with this. But I don't know until I see for myself, you know what I'm saying, that hey, that was true, you know what I'm saying? But I think of that, and bringing it full circle, you know what I'm saying, just to say, again, find that balance of, doing things from your own perspective, you know what I'm saying. Again, like I could read a book about, squirrels or certain animals, but I won't really know what a squirrel is about or what that animal is about until I really and truthfully observe it. Now there is, again, another parody in this situation is that, some information that comes to us does have accuracy. You know what I'm saying? It is true. Certain information or certain facts, can be expressed without us having without us having to experience, like say, for instance, a stove is really hot. Like we were told a stove was hot before putting our hands on it in some cases, not for everybody possibly, but you were told a stove is hot. Hey, don't put your hand on that. That was factual. You didn't necessarily have to put your hand on the stove in order to see, you know what I'm saying, whether that was true, or not, whether your parents were telling the truth or not, or whoever, you know what I'm saying. But, it's just finding that with everything, again, finding that balance of tapping into the experimentation vibration, because again, it's meant on a bunch of levels, but it's having awareness on your approach, on what you're dealing with and how you're dealing with it, you know what I'm saying? Again, and what's your approach to, doing that experiment, because again, some experiments could be, very, very dangerous, you know what I'm saying, if you're just stepping into it, unaware, Make me think of the food card and Forrest Gump magic, you know what I'm saying? Because there is a, it's a double-edged sword to that energy of the food / like naivety. And I say naive, but almost like food / just, or like, or should I say like foolish courageousness, for lack of a better word, you know what I'm saying? Where like you stepping into something, not knowing how dangerous it is, but the actual fact of you not knowing how dangerous it was is what actually saved you, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Again, like Forrest Gump didn't know how dangerous it was in Vietnam. All he knew was, shit, these little things flying by my ear, aka bullets, you know what I'm saying? And all he knew was, shit, I gotta save Bubba, I gotta save Lieutenant Dan, you know what I'm saying? From the perspective of, again, he wasn't aware, because even when he did get shot, he like, oh, something bit me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, shit, those bullets could have did more than just bite him, you know what I'm saying? But again, it's like a thin line between, your foolishness being able to, get you in very dangerous harm, and on the flip side, it being able to help you because you're unaware of how dangerous or harmful the situations, you've been in have been, you know what I'm saying? But again, with any and everything, find that balance for you, find what works for you, you know what I'm saying? But definitely see, how that perspective, has the truth in it. Again, like you could not be knowing how dangerous a situation is, but actually, again, that could be something that could be harmful. Let me think of another situation. You step into, you that friend that gets others to connect, let's just say. And let's say you step into a room and two people you know what I'm saying, they beefing with each other. And when you walk in, you unaware that they both probably thinking about pulling out a gun on each other. You know what I'm saying? But you're so, like, again, naive to that in essence, or just not, you have this certain air to you where you just, don't pay attention to those types of dangers or, that energy per se. So you walking in, not realizing that, again, both of them almost hands on a pistol ready to shoot at each other. And then you talk to them and then you diffuse that situation, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing that you were in the middle of a potential, gunfight. You know what I'm saying? Not even knowing. But again, what saved you was, because some people, this is another thing too, some of us are more, it's more helpful for some of us to know certain facts. And then it's more helpful to some of us to not know certain facts. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things would be more helpful than harmful to know for some people. And some things may be more harmful than helpful to others. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's like finding that, what's true for you. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you may be a being that has that power to, again, be in very dangerous situations and be able to make it out due to the fact that you didn't really know, how dangerous the situation was. Because again, you tell some people how dangerous the situation is before walking into it, and now all on their mind is fear and like, oh shit, I'm gonna get shot. Like, both of my friends got a gun. Like, back to that analogy, both of my friends got a gun. I might get shot. And it's like, well, since they know, now they're gonna actually like possibly manifest it or attract it due to their fear. Like, they're constantly ruminating on the fear of that happening. You know what I'm saying? And then there are some people who, you let them know, like, hey, you walk into a situation where both of your friends about to pull out a gun on each other, and some is able to be like, all right, cool, I know what's up, I know what I'm walking into, so I know how to tactfully carry myself in this situation, or not walk into the situation at all. You know what I'm saying? But either way, you know what I'm saying, it's like, some are able to process the information without fear-mongering themselves. Some aren't able to do, to process the information without fear-mongering, But again, it's like finding, what approach as far as, like stepping into things, knowing everything, or stepping into it only knowing what little details you need to know. You know what I'm saying? And that goes into right now, within this realm, a lot of truths being unveiled, and certain truths may be too overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? Certain truths may be like like the headlights to a deer crossing the street, you know what I'm saying? Where the deer see the headlights and they freeze up, where it's actually, detrimental for you to learn certain truths when you're not really ready for them. You know what I'm saying? And, that's going to be a theme, coming up in this realm. That's also going to play into the mental health perspective as well. It's like certain truths that just will be exposed, you know what I'm saying? Regardless if, most are ready or not, in essence, so also, like being aware to affirm, like, hey, higher self, or should I say inner self, inner source, where however you speak to the intuitive capacities within you, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, spirit guides, ancestors, help me to be able to embrace the truth without feeling overwhelmed. Help me to embrace the truth and still be able to take actions. Help me to embrace the truth without being, fearful about what I just learned. You know what I'm saying? But like, these are things that you could affirm, and again, very important to acknowledge right now. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, and as I'm speaking on this, a crystal that actually works well, and I'm bringing it up because of the synchronicity of me working with it, and then the subject matter coming up. But celestial quartz, some may call it celestial, Jacare quartz, alligator quartz, due to it having a shape like like different little scales in it, almost like an alligator, but Jacare quartz, or again celestial quartz, that's more popular name. It is great for integrating information or insight at a pace that's best for you. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it defeats the purpose to get told the whole truth in a manner where you're so overwhelmed that you're not even able to act upon what you was just exposed to. So you would have probably been in a better boat not even knowing compared to even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? Because at least you would have been able to still be present and still, be able to be mobile and active compared to hearing a certain truth and now it's like, oh shit, and now you're ruminating, fear-mongering yourself about what you was just exposed to, you know what I'm saying? So, definitely, tap into that affirmation, you know what I'm saying? Tap into, again, asking for that ability to embrace the truth, or also, like, allow for me to receive certain truths at a pace that's best for me, at a pace where I could still maintain my presence, you know what I'm saying, in my now moment, but, again, this is something to affirm, because the veil is only going to get thinner, and more we're going to realize that, the earthly plane may not be exactly what we were taught from our, human perspective, for sure, what a lot of people being taught in schools and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like that, it's going to be exposed that, maybe it's not what they was teaching us in these schools, you know what I'm saying? But, definitely, again, embracing the truth and then embracing it in a manner that's, a comfortable pace for you, not comfortable to a space of like creating a comfort zone that's toxic, but again, like a comfortable pace as far as like, again, like what's best for you, where you could still, embrace, where you could still be active as you embrace the truth, so you could still be present as you receive a certain truth, you know what I'm saying? Because again, you don't want to get into a state of being overwhelmed by a certain truth about this realm or about yourself, again, first and foremost, internal, external. So, having to face a certain truth about your soul, spirit, and physical being, that you didn't know was true, you know what I'm saying? Like something that maybe, religious texts or certain things, told you something that made you, that made it tough for you to embrace a certain truth about yourself, you know what I'm saying? But as you grow and you get to a certain space where you're more open-minded, you can handle a subtle little, pinch of that information and insight that's leading you towards that full truth or that whole truth, but again, that pace is different for, everybody, you know what I'm saying? But definitely, affirming and speaking and speaking on that, to affirm, again, a healthy connection with embracing, the whole truth internally and externally. But that's basically it. Just wanted to tap in with that perspective. Y'all know what it is. Peace. Now's the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now.